Hello guys, in our previous lesson, we discussed HTML links. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss HTML entities. Yes, HTML entities. HTML entities are special characters or reserved character used in HTML to include some sets of characters or some set of characters or symbols. HTML entity. So now we have now I'm on my keyboard. This keyboard now is limited to some certain characters. Like, we have thousands of characters when you're talking about symbols and characters. If the keyboard is to be created with the number of characters we have, the keyboard will be so long and, it won't be portable or it won't fit into the computer. So we have thousands of characters. We have thousands of some hidden characters which we have. So now to show you the certain characters, some certain characters we have, I will search on my Google. Let me go to Google and search HTML characters. We are going to see some set of characters I can use in HTML. For example, like copyright. We have characters for copyright. We have uh, angle characters. We have a lot of characters. We have characters for arrows. We have HTML. So let me search HTML entity. Entity. HTML entity. We have a lot of characters. Yes, thousands of characters that are hidden. So now let me click this. You see list of characters here. So these are the list of characters. This is less than characters. This is greater than. We have a lot. So now if you want to use a character in your page, how to add the character to the page. These are characters. This one is less than, greater than, ampersand, double quotes, single quotes, cent, which is currency. Let's say you want to add cent currency, you know, to your page. Let's say maybe you are building an e-commerce website and you want to add all this currency. You want to add euro, you want to add yuan, you want to add euro, you want to add dollar. It has their own characters. You can't, it would be so difficult for you to find yen character in your keyboard. It will be so difficult for you to find trademark character in your keyboard. But there are thousands of characters like that you can't find in your keyboard. So if you want to include the character in your HTML page, you are going to search on it, search on the particular character you want to include, and you are going to copy the code. These are the codes which you are going to copy and add to your page. So now the character will be shown. Here I want to add hero. I'll just copy this set of text. I will copy this text. I will copy this text. You see now, the hero, the hero character is going to show on my screen. Now, let me create paragraph element. So now I want to add the hero character inside. So let me paste the code which I copied for the hero. Let me paste it within the p tag. So it has been pasted within the p tag. So now let me save and reload the page. You see that the currency has been added. So now let me reload the page. Let me go back. Let me go back and reload the page. What's going on? Let me reload. Let me go back again. Now as you can see, the euro currency has been added. So now let me change the size. Let me change the size using style attribute. Style attribute. I want to change the size so that you are going to see what I'm talking about. Let me give it font size. Let me give it font size. Let me give it font size of 80 pixels. So I want it to be very large, 80 pixels. So now let me save. So what I did just now is adding CSS to our HTML code using inline CSS. So we have discussed inline CSS in our previous class. You can check how to add CSS to HTML. Can you see the hero tag? Can you see the hero character? Very big one. So now let's search for HTML entity for arrows. HTML entity for arrows. HTML entity for arrows. There are some certain character like that you can't find in your keyboard. Yes, you can't find those characters in your keyboard, and you want to use it in your page. Let's say Naira now, Naira currency. You want to use Naira currency. You can't find Naira currency on your keyboard. Yes, but you want to use it in the page. You search for HTML entity for Naira. So it's going to bring you a lot of information, and you start and you get the code. So now in the previous class, we did how to move to the bottom of the page. So now I want to use this character, this downward arrow, to indicate the bottom of the page. Now, where is the button which we created for the bottom of the page? So I will add the downward arrow now to this one to indicate that, okay, whenever you click this, you are going to be redirected to the bottom of the page. So now I've added the code for the HTML entity for arrows, downward arrow. So now let me save once again. I think I've saved the file. So now let me reload the page once again. You see the downward arrow is going to be added to the page, to the button. Can you see the arrow? Can you see the arrow? So now let me change the font size so that I'll be able to see the arrow very well. So font size, let me copy the font size of this style font size of 80 pixels. So you are going to see the downward arrow very well. So that is the function of HTML entity. I want to add copyright to my page, I want to add copyright symbol. Yeah, copyright symbol to my page. What you just have to do is go to search for the HTML entity for copyright, then copy the code and add it to your page. Can you see? Move to the bottom of the page. The downward arrow is there. Whenever you click, I'll be moved to the bottom of the page. So that is that. So now let's search for copyright arrow. Let's look for copyright HTML entity. Now, copyright HTML entity. Copyright. We also have another HTML entity for trademark, copyright HTML entity. So we have thousands of HTML entity that I can use. We have thousands of the symbol. Copyright. The one for copyright is ampersand for ampersand hash 169. Yes, I've seen what I'm looking for. Ampersand hash 159. So this is it. Ampersand at 169. This is it. You can copy the one for the number. You can copy the entity. Both would work. So now let me copy the number now. Let me copy the number. I'll copy the entity too. The text one. So now let's move towards the downward part. This kind of things is mostly shown at the downward part of our page. So now let me add it. Copyright. Let me add the copyright. Oh, now let me say footer. We have footer. So inside this footer, we add the copyright. So copyright. No, don't let me add the copyright. So let me use the symbol straight away. The symbol denotes copyright, isn't it? So this is the HTML entity for copyright 2025. 2025 Dre Coding School. Dre Coding School. So now let me save. You see the ampersand shown at the bottom part of the page. So now let me save. Now let's reload the page once more. Let's reload the page once again. So now let's reload the page once again. What's going on? Still reloading. So now you see that as you can see, the so now as you can see, so now as you can see, the copyright symbol shows. Can you see that? The copyright, okay, let me give you the font size. Let me give you the font size so I'll be able to see that copyright very well. Font size. Let me give it a font size. Let me give it a font style of 50. A font size of 50 so that I'll be able to see that copyright symbol very well. Font size of 50 pixel of 50 pixel. So now let's save once more and see the copyright symbol very well. So now let's reload the page. Let's move toward the downward part of our page. So now can you see the copyright? Can you see this? So that is that on HTML entity. We have thousands of symbols like that. If you want to include into your HTML page, you are going to use what you call HTML entity. There's HTML entity for Naira. Let's say you are building a website and you want to include Naira currency. Yes, we have HTML entity for Naira. HTML entity for Naira. We have thousands of HTML entity that, all these characters, they are not included in our keypad. Yes, we have thousands of characters that are not included. But if you want to use it in your page, you have to search for HTML entity for Naira. There's HTML entity for Naira. You see the code. The code is going to be out. So that's the HTML entity for Naira. This is it. U plus 2086. That is the Unicode. You can get it. You can search for more currency. You can search for more entity. So if you want to include a certain symbol in your page that you cannot find in your keyboard, you use what you call HTML entity. So that is that on HTML entity. So now let me copy this to cap it up. Let me copy this code. Let me copy this code now and include it. I want to include the Naira currency now. I want to include the Naira currency. You can't find Naira currency in your keyboard, but I want to include it. Let me include it within this footer. Let me include it within this footer. Let's say what. Let's create another div called what. Div ID. We want to create the what. Maybe let's specify the what of this website. Do it for the sake of it's just like an example here. Yes, you are just specifying this for learning purpose. Yes, nothing serious. So let's give it what. The what of this site. The what of this site. In Naira. The what of this site in Naira is. So now let's place the HTML entity now. Let's place the HTML entity for Naira. Yes, you see the Naira currency. You see the Naira currency. Now, and another thing is to show to make it more legible. Let's give it a font size. Let's give it a font size of 50 as well. Font size of 50. Font size of 50 pixel to make it more legible. So now let's save and reload the page now. Let's reload the page. HTML entity. What's that? Oh, okay. The thing is, what I'm going to do is this. Let's open the file. Now, here's the So now let's reload the page. Open with Google Chrome. Now you see the Naira currency displayed. You see let me bold this. Let me change the screen to full width, to full screen, sorry. And now you see the Naira currency. Can you see? The worth of this in Naira is, and the Naira currency has been shown. So you can't find Naira currency in your keyboard. But to include it, you are going to use what we call HTML entity. So let's say 4,000 Naira. Yes, 4,000 Naira. So now the Naira currency is being shown as the symbol. So let's reload the page again. I couldn't complete the sentence. So now I think the sentence has been completed now. So now you show the Naira currency. Going to show the Naira currency. Can you see it? The worth of this in Naira is 4,000. The worth of this in Naira is 4,000 Naira. That is the symbol has been shown to us. So that is that on HTML entity. Thank you very much. And I told you the usefulness of this HTML entity is to add text, is to add special characters and symbols that are not in your